welcome everybody to the TATA Tiago XZA. So this car is actually the petrol Revertron engine, but it's made it to a 5-speed AMT gearbox. I've done the Tigor review already, so pretty much this is the same, but it has some changes which I would like to mention. And for the record, this is my very own car, so I've seen this car in all ways possible. I've taken it to highways, I've taken it to all possible situations, and all I can say is that I'm really satisfied with this purchase, and I look forward to sharing my experience with you guys. But till then, the TATA Tiago. This car is a 1.2, 84 horsepower, 3-cylinder Revertron, and although it's a 3-cylinder engine, you do feel the vibes, but generally it keeps the vibes out. I think Tata has done a great job with the sound deadening and overall keeping the vibes low. Obviously it's a 3-cylinder engine, the inherent problem is that you're going to get the vibes. Not so much in this. It's there, obviously, but you have to really look for it. And that's commendable, really commendable of Tata to keep it so low. I am coming to a stoplight and I am just cruising, and this car just does everything in its stride. I mean, it really takes off the stress while driving, and that is the whole point really, of this AMT in small hatches. You take it your daily commute, and it's really effortless to drive, and it's really nice and comfortable. You're sitting in the aircon, which is again commendable. I must commend the AC, is really strong. The music system, the Harman Kardon, you're listening to your favorite tunes, and you have the ease of driving with the AMT in your daily commute. And as a package, this car is difficult to beat because A, it drives really well. The handling, you'd be really surprised. I mean, it's not something people associate with a Tata really, but it drives really well. You'd be really surprised at how well this car corners and how well this car rides. I mean, the combination of the ride it provides and the combination of the handling it has, very few people can actually come up with such a combination. It's just spectacular, honestly. Kudos to Tata for coming to such a combination. I mean, the last car I could think of with such a ride and handling combination is probably like the Linear T-Jet. Praise it doesn't go further than that, because that car is sublime when it comes to handling and ride. This car is pretty good. It's got a great audio system. It's got all the features. It's got ABS, it's got airbags, it's got all 4 power windows. It's got the lot, and it's really good fun, to drive this car in the city. Like I have just used to moving traffic now, and the car just starts to move. Creep. Plus this AMT does have creep. Many AMTs don't have creep nowadays, and that can be quite a problem because you have to constantly play with the accelerator and the brakes. And that can get a little annoying and disturbing in traffic. But this one has the creep feature, so you actually creep forward like a regular automatic, and I really like that. I really appreciate Tata for putting the creep feature. It's really useful in bumper-to-bumper traffic. Another thing I'd like to mention that stands out is the way this car looks, and I feel that this car actually looks really good. You can even compare it to segments above where this car is marketed at. I believe that it looks much better than even the Swift, and I know it's controversial because the Swift sells a lot in the country, but I feel that this car actually looks better than that, and praise doesn't go further than that, honestly. It's got all the bells and whistles, and for value for money, I believe that this car is difficult to beat, because for the price I paid for it, and I said, as I mentioned, this is my very car. So the price I paid for it was 5.9 lakhs on road, and that's pretty value for the money. I mean, I did my research, being in the industry, I made sure I look at all the options equally, but this car just stood out from the rest. It makes a good case for itself because A, it's pretty well built, it rides pretty well, it handles pretty well, the engine is decently peppy, gives pretty decent fuel economy. The AMT is a downside, but again, which AMT isn't? I mean, look at the amount I'm paying. If I'm expecting a DSG or a CVT in that money, I'm sorry, that's just too harsh on the industry currently. The boot space is just adequate, industry standard, not the class leading, not the worst either. So that's pretty good. It's got electrically adjustable mirrors, so covered on the electrical front. It's got good alloy wheels, 14-inch with 1/675 section tires, so pretty decently spec'd on that front as well. Tell me what this car needs, and I would say nothing. With respect to the price I paid for it, asking for more would be probably maybe leather seats. Again, that's subjective. Some people don't like it. Speaking of the seats are very supportive. I mean, they're really, really soft. So instead of sitting on the seat, you're sitting in the seat. You're cocooned by the side bolsters, and which are pretty good. I have good back support, I have good thigh support, but the only problem I feel that the seat base is too soft. So when you take it for a long drive, which I did recently, I took it for a 1200 kilometer drive to Lucknow and back, and the seat over time, it begins to tire you out. You know, you start setting in the base, you start entering the base, and it can get a little tiring. You can affect your lower back, but again, if you don't have to go for long drives, this does not concern you at all. Which again, you can, because this car can cruise all day long at triple-digit speeds effortlessly. You know, I took this car was cruising literally, and I'm not even joking, literally the whole day it was cruising at triple-digit speeds. It did not even break a sweat. I was surprised at this car's mile munching capability. Just ate the kilometers. Amazing. The ride is really good on high speeds. At slow speeds, you can say the suspension is a little stiff. You know, when you go over bumps, you go over speed breakers, it does crash a little bit, but again, it's stiff. And that stiffness pays you back when you're on the highway. It just gobbles the potholes, the bumps, or irregularities on the road, eats them up. Amazing. You don't even have to slow down for bumps because the ground clearance is so high. You're for sure that you're not going to scrape at anything. And that, knowing that your car won't scrape anything is a pretty cool thing in India, because there's lots of bumps. If you have a low slung car, you might scrape. That's gonna hurt. This, you won't scrape. That's pretty nice to know that. Pretty nice to know that. It just cruises, this car. It loves to cruise. I'm doing pretty decent speeds, and it just loves to cruise all day. I mean, amazing. You don't expect such stuff from a small budget car, but this just exceeds, and it actually sets the bar much higher. You'll be really surprised. Really surprised. You'll be really surprised at what this car can do. Honestly, you'll love it. One really needs to try it out. If you can forget or forgive the minor AMG issues, which this car had initially when I bought the car. There were some AMG issues. The AMG, basically there's an issue where even stop-start traffic, it gets confused whether to shift or not to shift, and that can get a little nerve-wracking, because sometimes the clutch, the ECU does not know whether to upshift or downshift or to engage the clutch or not. Sometimes the car is just confused, it just stays put. That can get a little scary sometimes in stop-start traffic or on inclines. You're just sitting. It takes a good 5, 7, 10 seconds for the car to understand what it's actually got into, and it solves it. But again, this only happens, I would say, 15, maybe 20% of the time. 80% of the time, it works flawlessly. And that's pretty cool, that's pretty commendable. That's really commendable. I'm out of words. This car delivers and more in all aspects possible. I'm absolutely in love. Absolutely in love. Beautiful car. And I think it's one of the better lookers as well compared to its competitors, and even better than the cars in the segment above compared to, I feel it looks better than the Swift. And I really do. And I'm not saying this because it's my car and I'm biased. I genuinely think this looks really good and it stands out on the road, especially if you get in a bright color. Mine is not such a standing out color. If you get into that orange shade it has, it looks amazing. Kudos to Tata for making such a brilliant package and such a value for money proposition. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Tata, for making such a car. I'm in love. And thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.